Hello viewers, welcome to your program. It is Economic Insights and I'm your host, Paul Kingsley. Now, in continuation with the ongoing report we are doing on the state of the economy, we are taking a topical look at the various issues affecting infrastructure development in Nigeria. Now, with us on the program is a man who has contributed in no small way to the development of our infrastructure. He is the managing director of Vynouad Construction Company Limited. He's not a person than Alhaji Yunusa Abimbola Adebola. He's on the block with us to tell us his own take on these issues. Sit back, relax. I'll be back after this time out. Thank you. Vynouad Construction Company Limited was registered in Nigeria with the Corporate Affairs Commission in the year 1990. The company is a medium-sized construction firm managed by young and dynamic professionals. It is a global brand with innovative, qualitative, and result-oriented service delivery system. Builder Abimbola Yunusa is the Managing Director CEO.
Vynouad Construction Company Limited was registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission in the year 1990. That was a year after I graduated from Yaba College of Technology with highest national diploma. And as a growing young man then, I have always had in mind that I will not be working for any other person or for any institution. I will have to start my own and endure whatever is going to be challenges there. So as I was leaving school, I was already incorporating Vynouad Construction Company Limited. This experience is neither here nor there. Three things are necessary in this my profession. You must be well grounded, both in theory and practical. 2, you must be ready to move. You are not supposed to sit down somewhere waiting for job to come and meet you. You will need to move a lot. And the third one is you pray very hard if you are a good Christian or a good Muslim. Right from day one that Vynouad Construction Company Limited was registered, glory be to God, we have not had an idle moment. We've always had something going on. It may be small or it may be big at a time, but there was never a time that we were idle. The challenges is against the quacks. Building profession has been infiltrated by quacks. A man who managed to do a bungalow building for himself, maybe in his village or even in the city, will come and tell you that I've done it before, that I've built house before. Whereas no two buildings are the same. Something will vary. It may be substantial, it may be little. But at any point in time, even when you have to repeat a prototype building, on the land you are putting those buildings, there are differences. What this building A required in foundation might not be what building B will require. So the quacks, they believe they can do it. Sometimes they do it and get away with it, but some other time when they are unfortunate, the process will fail and they will then be counting their loss. We've been doing private residential buildings for different clients and few public projects. If I have to count what we have done, we will not finish until 30 minutes, 40 minutes now. But we've done so many successful projects. Among them in Abuja here, we came to Abuja in year 2001. Among our projects in Abuja is MTN regional office in Maitama. We did MTN regional office in Maitama for a client other than MTN. MTN happens to be a tenant from tenant to the owner. But the original owner of the project gave me the work. That was MTN regional office. If you are familiar very well with Amino Kano in UC2, there is a building annexing Globalcom office, bigger than the Globalcom office. So that was part of our project then. Some residential buildings, and lately we have Leadway Assurance office in central area. And right now we are in Ekiti State doing the new governor's office. In Abuja here, we are about to handle a project that has lasted 3 years to the client because they will be commissioning it very soon. That one is 98 bedrooms hotel in Nasokoro there.
Regrettably, the poor state of infrastructural facilities has been the menace of Nigerians' economic development. The near collapse of public infrastructure is occasioned by many years of neglect by the government. The question and asks are, what does Nigerian infrastructure really say about Nigeria?
If you want to scale us on grade 1 to grade 10, you will discover that we are somewhere at grade 3. We are still below where we were supposed to be. I will tell you something. I have a friend who was a Cameroonian. He told me when I was traveling from Lagos to Kaduna with him, and we took off in Lagos in the morning. By 5 o'clock in the evening, we have got to Kaduna. And he told me, he said, I have not been to Egypt, I have not been to South Africa, but all other African countries that he has visited, Nigeria is the most developed. That in his country, in Cameroon, when you are traveling a distance covering about 500 kilometers, you have to break the journey into 2 or 3. You can't have a smooth journey like that. You have to come down at a point where there is no road. Either you take bike to take you across, or you walk across, join another motor. That is what is obtainable in all the other African countries he has visited. That swelled my head then, that after all, we are better in some areas. But if you now want to compare where we are supposed to be, believe me, Dubai or even Saudi Arabia, they are supposed to be behind Nigeria in terms of development. We have become something as a country. Just imagine what it was in the year 1970, 60, 65, 75. How many countries can boast of what Nigeria had at that time? I remember that I went to Egypt and the cab driver was asking me, do you have Naira? Pay me with Naira. Then it was 80 kobo to $1. But when the time rotates like this and get to where we are now, where a dollar now is 400 Naira, it even went as far as 520 Naira at a time. Then we should realize that we have mismanaged our resources. we are like prodigal son. The only thing we can do now is everybody must be ready to make sacrifice. You see, let us categorize the buildings that are collapsing. Are we talking of a bungalow of a 2-bedroom flat? Are we talking of a skyscraper? Skyscraper as you have in Eco Island. Everybody knows that when you are going multi-stories, nobody takes chance. They will allow all the professionals to be there. They will be brainstorming. They will be offering solutions to every challenges they come across. And you will agree with me that we have not seen a high-rise project collapsing. Now, coming back to those projects that were failing, the first thing you look at is this structural engineering design. The first page that you will see is the comments of the engineer who designed the project. He will not forget to mention that the engineer will not be held liable to project that he did not supervise. He is indirectly telling you that if you want me to do the design for you alone, I'll do it. But the ideal thing that I will advise you to do is to allow me to supervise the project even after the design. But there is this quack somewhere who said, I've built for Baba Latif. I have engineer Bimbola, I have worked for him. I built his house. What is in this one? And there are so many things in building. Mr. Kingsley, if you want to do a slab of a particular building, you may require only 2 tons of iron. If you say you want to be generous to yourself, you use 3 tons of iron. That is not guaranteeing the stability of that project. It is where you put the iron. Are you supposed to put the iron on the upper part of the slab at this point, or at the lower part of the slab at that point? Where you are supposed to use top reinforcement and you provided 5 times what you would have needed as bottom reinforcement, building will collapse. It is not how much of the iron that you use that will safeguard your building. It is the process. Was it used at the appropriate places? So now when you come to other materials that usually fail in building, you talk of concrete. It's like when you are frying granite for a blind man. You must not forget to be whistling with your mouth. Reasons being that once we mix the concrete, nobody can determine by visual means the strength of that concrete, the strength that concrete will attain. You will not see a quack who will say that I can use 1 bag of cement, I can use 4 bags of cement to produce 1 cubic meter of concrete. Yes, it's true, he can, but will the building stay? That is why I said in my comment earlier that they get away with these things sometimes, but where they are unfortunate, it will backfire on them. So those projects that are collapsing, look at them very well. It is lack of professionalism that resulted in it. Your concrete is supposed to be gaining strength throughout its lifetime. Not only when you have just done it, but you will see some structures, you will see the concrete peeling under the iron, and the iron inside started rusting quickly. That tells us that something was wrong with that concrete. Julius Berger has no magic. What they do is that they use the correct amount of materials. They will not compromise with that, and they will make sure that the materials are deployed to the necessary areas.
Do you know you can own lands and houses in Nigeria stress-free? Buying lands and houses with your mouth, rental income from your tenants at 30% to 50% of the real value of plan. Make returns in excess of 50% per annum. Investing in FMG Real Estate Scheme from anywhere you are in the world. Registering with FMG Wealth Platform qualifies you to buy lands and houses at 30% to 50% of the real value, stress-free in Nigeria without paying for it. Selling at a premium, selling 3 to 5 properties puts you in a position to buy yours with proceeds made from the sale. Buy a house worth 10 million naira at 3 million naira off plan, making returns in excess of 50% per annum in 6 to 12 months when you sell. You can also make money with FMG Wealth Platform employing smarter, richer and more influential people you introduce to the platform, earning a percentage of commission on businesses facilitated and property sales proceeds by them. With FMG, financial freedom is possible as you can make an excess of 1 million naira monthly on the side. For more info on how to join FMG Wealth Platform, call +234 978 01835 +234 8052 55 1000 or visit our website www.fmgnigeria.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMG Platform. Like our Facebook page, FMG Platform. Our corporate office is at FMG Associates Limited, T.Y. Danjuma Foundation Building, 2nd floor, plot 2015, Oda Crescent off Dar Salam Street, off Aminu Kano Crescent, Wusetu, Abuja, Nigeria.
With the statement that the system has failed the youth, I agree with them. But for the youth to be using it as an excuse for indolence, I will not subscribe to that. Many young men from Nigeria have traveled abroad, and you see them sweeping roads there, washing dead bodies there, going to eateries and wash plates there. If you can stoop that low in another person's country, why don't you look for something more decent here to do? The system has changed, and the players are also requested to change. We are required to change. If you are in secondary school some 30 years ago, your dream is, I'll become a doctor, I'll become an engineer, I'll become a builder, I'll become a quantity surveyor. Fine. How many surveyors can the system absorb now? You hear that Nigerian youth, they are not employable. Many of the graduates there, they are not employable because they used to read and pour down what they read to their lecturer. He is not concerned with his future. If a lecturer comes to the classroom and said, gentlemen, I want to give you tutorial on this course, and I will not be taking your time, I will ask you to do write-up for me at the end of the semester, you will see the students, they will be hailing that lecturer, not know that they are compromising their future. Again, you will see a graduate now, ask him or her, how long effectively, how long did it take him to graduate? Most courses that are spread for a whole semester of about 13 weeks, the lecturer will come 2 weeks to the exam time. He has not appeared before. He will come 2 weeks to the exam and will give you blah, blah, blah handout. If, for God's sake, if you can read the handout without lectures, why do you have to be in the university? Why don't you read in the corner of your father's sitting room? Effectively, some of them that did their course for 4 or 5 years, if you look at the effective time they use in lecture, it's just about 6 months. How will you know what you are supposed to know in 5 years? How can you know it in 6 months? Those who design the program, they are not crazy. My advice for the youths today is that whatever level of education you attain, look for what you can do for yourself. I told my colleagues when we were in Polytechnics in Yaba College of Technology that I will not work for anybody. And it passed to be like that. I worked only 4 months with a construction company. After that 4 months, I stayed on my own. That was since 1989. Today, I am counting my blessings. And if there is any loss, I'm counting it. But whatever failure I must have recorded is from my own inability. Whatever success that I have achieved, it is from my own effort. Let them forget about this political science. I read building, I read political. How can I work in this place? We must remove it. Agriculture gives us enough alternative. You can just sit down somewhere and dig ground of this office size and start rearing your fish there. You will be answering your father's name there. Another person may say, okay, let me rear snails. Even this grass cutter, people are rearing it at home now. One of my cousins came out with first class in mathematics from University of Ibadan. I was surprised about 4 months ago that he came to visit me, that he wanted to bring turkey for me. I said, turkey, you want to go and buy turkey for me? He said, no, from the one he was rearing. I said, you are here rearing turkey. He said, I'm rearing turkey, I'm doing fowls. When did you start? He said the money he saved when he was doing it youth corps. That's what he saved to start it. And it started with 300,000 naira. The birds that he has now worth 800,000 naira. And he's even trying to expand now because where he was using will not be enough for him again. My name is Vynouad Adebola Abimbola. I'm a grandson to King Abimbola in Ewo in Osun State. And I started life as a young boy, normally as every other children used to start in those days. I was not enrolled in any school till about age of 8. My father did not even think of sending me to school. You know why? My father was a prince. He gets everything he wanted, even without working for it. And that has gone into them that their children can also survive like that. They later find out when they grew old, that their approach was wrong. So I attended primary school, St. Augustine Catholic Primary School in Yafoye in Iwo between the year 1969 and 75. Graduating from the school, from the primary school, I would go to bricklaying work in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock. When I finish in the evening in the work, I will head to the school. And I did that between year 1980 and 1983 when I sat for my GCE. Got so good, I made out my papers at a seat. I met another client, Mrs. Cotton. She said, why don't you go to higher institution. I said I would have loved to, but there was nobody to sponsor me. She said, what sponsor do you need again? You are already working, you know how you are doing. You continue to work. Anytime you have opportunity to work, you save money for the school. 1985, I started my national diploma. The same year I finished HND in 1989 that I went for NYSC, I applied for direct entry to the University of Lagos. So today I wanted to do my PhD, but Vynouad Company Limited has taken 90% of my time. So there was no time. Maybe I should just mention that at a time in Abuja here, there were these representatives of Evangel Christian University in Louisiana in America. We met like this. And they said, when I told them my story, they said, a bricklayer, becoming a professional builder, coming to have a master's in construction tech, that they must award me, they must give me an award. And they said they were giving me doctorate of an honorary doctorate in business administration. But because I didn't work for it, that's why I don't use it in my name. I have the certificate there and all that. I even visited the school sometimes when I traveled, and I saw the school. I said, this is the school that gave me honorary PhD. So today I would have loved if I have endured to finish my PhD